Hello, good day. This is Doc Lee, currently the Assistant Secondary School Principal 2 of Dr. Cecilio Putong National High School in Tagbilaran City. For my field of interest, I am a social sciences teacher, but I trained and exposed myself to the world of research. That's why I was able to conduct more than 10 researches, presented and published it in the national and international level. That's why I already won awards as best in research presentation and also as best researcher. So for today's tutorial, I would be more specific and I would give you a short lecture plus samples of how to make a research title in the quantitative research focusing on the TVL track. So you have to understand that researches in TVL is different from the other tracks and strands because TVL researches is more on project based. So it is closely related to STEM researches or the capstone. We call it capstone because you really have to produce some products and some innovations. So first and foremost, what is the importance of a research title in conducting research? So the title of your paper is the first thing that the readers will see, and they will immediately form a view on what to expect from your research paper. So it is important that the research title must capture the interest of the readers, because what is really the main focus of the research is for the utilization of the findings of your research and possibly the acting now on the recommendations of your research to the next group of researchers. So therefore, the research title must be clear and persuasive enough to communicate what your study is all about and to engage the interest of your readers. So for today's video, I would be giving you simple sample titles for research in the TVL. So first, let us understand what makes a good research title. So a good research title is expecting to do the following. Number one, it should capture the interest of the paper. Now, it should capture the interest of the paper. It must be that the words that you are using centralize or focus on your research topic or your research intention. So, for instance, I would give you an example here. Acceptability of blue ternate flour as a food coloring in making cupcakes. So in your gulayan sa paralan, surely your garden teacher planted blue ternate. So the blue ternate is a vine. It's a vine plant, and it produces a blue or something like a blue-violet flower, and those flowers are widely used in food and in coloring. So you want to utilize the available resources in your school and would like to use the blue ternate flower as a food coloring in your cupcake, because synthetic food coloring is not so good with our health, and the ube, violet ube, the purple ube is quite expensive. So you're using the blue ternate flower as an alternative coloring for your cupcake that would result to a violet cupcake. Then next, second tip, a good title must be accurate and specific, not overly general. So it is accurate, in the same time it is specific. So with our title, Acceptability of Blue Ternate Flour as a Food Coloring in Making Cupcake, is it accurate? Of course. Now you are doing an experimentation on the acceptability of blue ternate flour as food coloring in making cupcake. Is it specific? Of course. You have there the blue ternate flower as a food coloring for making cupcake. Now, so it's not a general because you specify what is your raw material and what is the product of your research, the cupcake. Then the third tip that is very important in making a good research title is it must not contain unnecessary distracting details. Now, so eliminate those unnecessary words. Like with this title, coping mechanism of displaced hotel workers in Panglao Island, Bohol. So other than you capture the essence of the paper, it is accurate and specific. Now, it does not include unnecessary words because you may add it as coping mechanism of displaced workers who are not regular in their job. So in Panglao Island, Bohol. So you're making it very specific by adding the phrase or the words not regular in their job. It's not necessary because you will include it in your methodology now when you're talking about your respondents. So just make it coping mechanism of displaced hotel workers in Panglao Island, Bohol. Then the fourth tip is it should be comprehensible to a broad academic readership. So whatever is the learning style or the level of knowledge of your probable readers, be it in Visayas, Mindanao, or in Luzon or other parts of the world, your title is comprehensible to all group of researchers or readers who are interested to use or to read your study. Okay, so a good title here would be this title for agriculture. Banana peel pellets as an alternative chicken feed. So the use of banana peel pellets for alternative chicken feed. So you know already what is the focus of the research. You're trying to establish the possibility that the banana peel would, when they are transformed into pellets, the small size, solid food for chicken, is it good for, as a chicken feed? So you will be making an experimentation on that. So wherever is the reader, he or she would understand the title itself. Then last, the fifth tip is that the research title must engage readers and generate curiosity. So for this title, it must not be overly researched. It must be like interesting enough to give my time to read your research. Sayang kasi yung research pag hindi babasahin ng mga tao, ng mga next batch of researchers. Okay. And then, additionally, I will give you more tips on how to make your research title more interesting and more, engaging to our readers. Okay. So according to experts, and this is also the same practice that I do. So for a research title to be effective, make sure that your research title describes the topic, then the method, then the sample, and then the results of your study. So these four elements of a research title, as much as possible, must be contained in one research title. But sometimes it's not possible. Like for instance, I will give you an example of a title that is complete in characteristic, like the topic, the method, the sample, and the results of your study. So the first example that I share, acceptability of blue ternate flower as a food coloring in making cupcake. So you know already the topic, that the research would focus on the possibility of blue ternate flower as a food coloring in making a cupcake. So it is very clear that the title includes the topic. Then next, the method. Although it's it is not written there that you'll be making an experiment, but the use of the word acceptability already presents the method of the study, because you know, when you are cooking, you are making experimentation as well with regards to the possibility of the blue ternate flour having the capacity to give a violet color to your cupcake. Then the sample, of course, you have your sample there. So the the use of the blue ternate flour, and the end product would be the cupcake. Is the cupcake as a finished product having a violet color? Is it acceptable to your set of respondents who would try your cupcake? And then the results of your study, of course. So the finished product would be your cupcake. However, some titles would not capture all the elements or all the requirements as I mentioned. Like for instance, coping mechanism of displaced hotel workers in Panglao Island, Bohol. So you have here the topic, then you have here the sample, the displaced workers, then the results of your study would be the coping mechanism, but you did not include the method, because you may add there a survey on the coping mechanism of displaced workers in Panglao Island, Bohol. So the title is acceptable as well, but sometimes it is already boring if you would include the title. So you want to make it more exciting, so you would not include it. And then another tip is, when making a research title, avoid the use of difficult words like unnecessary words and jargons. As much as possible, use the words that is relatable and understandable. But if you cannot get away with using local or technical terms, so in the title, you have to write it in italic form. You have to italicize it. Is it correct? Italicized? So keep the title statement as concise as possible. You want a title that will be comprehensible even to people who are not experts in your field. Okay? And then another one is, make your title between 5 to 15 words in length. 5 and 15. Okay, 1-5. Because what will happen to your research title if you would just say the farmer? Okay? So it is a complete sentence, but there will be lots of questions like, what is really the topic? What is all about in farming or the life of a farmer? So what would be the method? What would be, of course, you have the sample, the farmer, but you don't have the specific topic, which is the main essence of the research. But if you would make it also very lengthy, like the farmer of Cabawan District, Tagbiran City, as he is adjusting to the challenges and problems brought upon by the global pandemic, that is very lengthy. And as a reader, I would be overwhelmed with the research, possible content of the research. So I will not dare reading it kasi in Tagalog nakakasuka yung title. Okay. Then this is also a very important tip. I used to submit my researches for possible publication and presentation in some research organization. And it is very important that when you are making a research title, or if it is a school requirement, then you should check the requirement of the school or of the organization, because every school has its own title requirements as a standard, and you should abide with that para hindi masayang yung effort mo sa paggawa ng title kung hindi ma-approve. So first and foremost, you should follow the standard of the school. And then, as much as possible, another tip is use descriptive phrase to convey the purpose of your research efficiently. Now, descriptive. Now, your research title is not interrogative in nature. So, hindi siya patanong. So, it's descriptive. And then, most importantly, if you are planning your research to be published in an e-journal or those organizations that are based with having websites in the internet, not to increase the discoverability of your article. Again, if you're planning to publish it online, so you should use critical keywords. Critical keywords refers to popular search words in the internet. So, example, coping mechanism of displaced hotel workers in Panglao Island, Bohol. So, in the academe, when your published research is widely searched or widely read by the other researchers, that means that your research really is very effective. Now, so in our title, Coping Mechanism of Displaced Hotel Workers in Panglao Island, Bohol, so you have two important keywords there, coping mechanism and displaced hotel workers. So when other researchers or students would search for topics about coping mechanism, about displaced workers during the time of pandemic, then your researchers would be included as possible sources of information. So as a researcher, I would be very happy to see the statistics of my research having a wide readership. Okay, so I hope that my simple tutorial would help you in making your research title, because mind you, my dear students, the crafting or the making of the research title is a big headache for students and even for professionals and teachers who are like me, who are engaged in research. So if you want to know more about research and to apply those skills that I am personally using, so why not check my blog, Research and Beyond, or you just simply write my name, Ligardo Palaca Jr. Okay, so thank you so much and enjoy research.